Hele Maranye, you're far too kind. You're far too kind. Hele paparamo no skifi pa. Alu ma noro skifiri piri pa marana. Alu ha manya hacha pufi pi. Alipira para karishi fi para parupa marana. It's a mystery, baby. Yes, it certainly is.
It's the simplest expression. The smallest thing that changes everything. A smile. Yeah. So easy. A smile lights it up. Apologizes. And welcomes unconditionally. Because the shortest distance between two people is a smile.
Thank you.
Dragon Van Til, where making life easier starts.
Let's do that again. Sorry. Hisky. In Fapa Maralarananaha.
It's the simplest expression. The smallest thing that changes everything. A smile. So easy. A smile lights it up. Apologizes. And welcomes unconditionally. Because the shortest distance between two people is a smile.
Thank you.
Dragon Van Til, where making life easier starts with a smile.
For over 100
Smile,
years,
smile,
Roofers
smile.
Local 26 has been keeping Northwest Indiana dry and safe. Since 1919, our highly trained members have built a reputation for skills, safety, and reliability. With a 4-year apprenticeship and certifications in OSHA safety,
Skills,
first aid, and CPR,
safety,
we deliver quality you can trust.
reliability.
When you need roofing done right, choose Roofers Local 26, protecting what matters most for over a century. For more information, visit www.roofers26.com.
One more.
Tech Credit Union supports the essential role of union labor in building strong communities. That's why we offer hassle-free banking, financial empowerment, and a commitment to your success. Save for the future, handle life's challenges, and trust a partner that stands by hardworking union members. Tech Credit Union, the better option for you and your money. Visit techcu.org or call 800-276-8324. Tech Credit Union, supporting union families every step of the way.
All right.
Introducing
Pretty good.
Powers Health, a health
Is there
system
really
with
one
a
that
new
more?
name and a strong legacy
Disky
of
Pee Pee.
caring for families in our community. One with a tradition of advanced specialized services and a vision for the future. One with a commitment to medical excellence and compassionate care. Everything we do, everything we believe, powers health.
Hele and Maraskafa Poro Horoniere Pasca. All right, now how do I get the chat? Remember to guard your privacy. Okay, chat. Los que vi para ha lo horororonye. Nieski fi paparula ma palniere fu para. Niriskafa lokamo and yeshin nal ho he hiskifi para la palara naha hiskifi paparu para. All right, let's take a look, everybody. What's going on with the traffic? 294 around the city looks pretty good. 80 going east and west looks good. Bishop Ford has an accident. And it is at the entrance road. Well, no, it isn't an accident. The entrance ramp is closed due to flooding right there at 111th Street. Paging Cousin Phyllis. Isn't that where you get off at, well, let me rephrase that. Isn't that where you exit the highway? 111th Street. Yeah, so it's backing up a little bit. There must be some flooding. I don't know. It didn't really rain. I will tell you this, though. never in the history of the region has there been more people going through car washes in the last 24 hours. Last 20 hours. In that mud storm that came through, that was crazy. And if you parked your car outside, it just got, what it is, it was like ash from the wildfires. It somehow got caught in the jet stream, and then I think it must have rained a little bit, and then it just brought all this mud down. And the front door here at WGGB was covered in mud. And then my poor old granddad, that's me, what was I going to say? My daughter and son-in-law got a new minivan, and they had a bunch of stuff in their garage, so they don't really have any spot for it yet. So they parked it outside, and he got it at like 7:30 at night on Tuesday. Wakes up in the morning to go look at his new minivan, and it's completely covered in like mud and ash, just like everybody else's car. So we went out last night and for a ride in the minivan, me and the family, their family. Alexis had something. And so we drive out over to get a sandwich at Chick-fil-A, and we're thinking, well, we'll just go to the car wash on the way home, and it was packed. Every car wash. Easy Clean, of course, is the only car wash you should really go to. And if you buy that $19.99 thing, you could go to the car wash every day for a month if you want. And I buy the $19.99, and I probably go 4 times a month. So maybe it's $5 a wash. That's pretty low, you know what I mean? And there's one right on 45th. There's one right on Indianapolis Boulevard. And then you can just pull in. You go, and it's like 3 minutes if you don't stop to vacuum your car. Anyways, that's an extended traffic with Jim Dedelow. And let's take a look at what's going on with the weather. You know, there's so much irony going on right now in that, well, first of all right, I put up a comment on the chat board on Udemy. So if you want to watch on Udemy and engage in the chatting, I look at it from time to time. You guys are pretty funny, some of you, and not as funny as I am, but you're still pretty funny. And let's take a look at weather. Right now it's 43 degrees at the Strachan Van Til Studios at Radio Center. Right in the center of Hammond. Cloudy most of the time today with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm this afternoon. Thunderstorms can bring hail and damaging winds. Tomorrow kind of gets back to February weather. High of 40 and mostly cloudy, windy, and cooler with a stray shower. And then by Saturday, partly sunny and a high of 38. Let's do some shameless promotion for what you should be watching. It is a great time to be watching high school basketball as we come in to kind of accelerate into the girls semi-state, and then we have wrestling, and then we have some swimming, and then we come into boys basketball sectionals. And speaking of that, we will be having John Doherty call at 7:30 just to promote this sportsmanship banquet. Note to the South Shore Convention Visitors Authority people, I think you're bringing 5 people. You're going to sit at my table, like with Dave Kuziak, and I think Gary Bell's going to sit there, and my wife. So, I don't know. I think and Eddie Rhea. Eddie Rhea got a hold of me, and he's like, hey, Jimmy, you got an extra ticket? I go, yeah, I do. So I'm filled. I'm sorry, I don't have any more. But you can buy some. Just go to Sportsmanship Committee. What is that? I don't even know what the website is. Let's look. Sportsmanship Committee Banquet, Indiana. All right, what is that? It'll be the annual sportsmanshipdinner.com. All right, go to this 72nd annual Calumet Region Sportsmanship Dinner. It's a lot of fun, and all you got to do to buy a ticket is to not buy tickets now. is you go right to the front page, and then you just buy a couple tickets. Buy a ticket at $75. You will not be disappointed. Pat Garrity's going to talk. He is the athletic director, and he was a star at Notre Dame and played professional sports. And we'll have him, and he hangs around. There's some other, obviously, it'd be all the high school coaches and all of the, I think most of them, I think Lake Central and Portage aren't going to be there. There's some conflicts there. But other than that, everybody's going to be there. And all the teams, all the coaches. And then yours truly, I'm the MC. So if you don't get enough of me in the morning, you might want to go spend $75. My table's full, so I don't have any more room. But if you want to sit with us or whatever and you want to buy some tickets, I can have them throw up another table right next to us. That's usually what happens. I usually say, oh, well, I already have – oh, I forgot my dad. Oh, geez, I only got one. Uh-oh. Who's going to go? All right, who gets kicked out? Kuziak? No. Eddie Rhea, I can't really do that to Eddie. My wife, she might say, hey, I'll tell you what, I'm going to go home instead. All right, Dad, you can go instead of Alexis. And then Belle, and I don't know. So it'll be a little bit tight. But, hey, you're going to want to go, and we'll have John Doherty in here in a little bit, just start to call in and just promote the whole thing. All right, what else was I going to say? I was going to say, look at the schedule of games. And here's what happened. I mean, nobody's listening, so I'll just be honest with you guys. We, at one point, started a sports network, right? And we say, all right, we're just going to start it, and we're just going to grow it, and we grow it, and we grow it, and we grow it. And then all of a sudden, it's kind of like too big for us. We got 25 teams. I wouldn't say it's too big for us, but we're operating at maximum efficiency. And we have an incredible team. It's just amazing. Although I got to tell you, we got rated once again into we're a farm team for the major leagues, and I'll tell you about that. I think I'll have a guy on next week where it'll be his last day next Thursday, and I'll have him on, and we'll tell where he's going. But, we have enough people. I think some of the athletic directors are like, dude, how are you doing all these games? And, well, we have a close relationship with Purdue and IUN and Cal College, and we have interns from all those schools, and we're actually getting them from high schools, and then in some high schools, they are actually broadcasting the games. And I think we have 25 affiliates, and I would say a few of them, especially Hobart, especially Porter County, PC3 they call it, in Valpo, they do a bunch of games for us. So if it's at any of your schools and you do have a kind of a broadcasting department or you have some equipment or something, it would be a lot easier for us if maybe we send one person out and then they direct all the high school kids, or you have a broadcasting teacher and you send the games to us, because that's kind of the model in the future. Really, you could do all your games live with announcers, and then you get more sponsors that way. So, but we are, I guess one of the ones, I'll just put it out to Hammond Career Center, with both Morton and Hammond Central, and then you got Hast. You could do a lot of games if we were to put together just a little bit of a sports broadcasting department at the Hammond Career Center. You have all the equipment. So I had a long talk with Sean Kinsey yesterday when he came in, and I met KP. You know who KP is? This is, I don't even know her last name. Kaler, I think it is. All I know is everybody calls her KP. She's 6 foot tall and is arguably one of the best basketball players in the state of Indiana. And she's only a junior, and she goes to Morton. I think at one point they were 17-1 the last time I looked at it. And their nemesis is none other than the Crown Point Bulldogs. Crown Point Bulldogs were able to pull off. Morton beat them in the regular season. Crown Point came back and had just played and practiced, and you could tell their whole game plan was to slow down KP. That was a really highly watched game on the Heartland Sports Network that we broadcasted And I got to tell you, the girls basketball is got some just incredible numbers, and you many sponsors, you many unions, you many Powers Health, Strax, NIPSCO, all you guys recognize that, and I get that, but the numbers are astounding on how many people want to watch girls basketball. But KP was in here, and KP, when you watch her game, and I told her to her face, I'm like, hey, are you nervous, whatever, to go on the air? I think it was the School City of Hammond show. And she said, yes, I was nervous, but once it got going, I guess I wasn't so bad. I'm like, well, was that your first time to go? Well, no, somebody interviewed me before, but it was just a newspaper. It wasn't on, so I guess. So it was kind of like Robbie Hummel. Robbie Hummel did his first interview with Dave Kuziak over here at Munster High when he was a junior in high school, and that was KP's first real interview. And I told her, I go, well, you need to come around because it's an advantage to you when you're in the recruiting process and you're going into, you're going to have a career at a high level. It's an advantage if you can talk to the media and you're not all freaked out when somebody throws a microphone in front of you. You're like, hey, I got this. Hey, all right, thank you for the question. I told her, you can't just answer yes or no. You got to give some analysis, and it always has to be positive, and you always have to throw the credit to your teammates and your coach and to the entire Morton community and that kind of stuff. And she kind of nodded, you know what, thank you. And then Kinsey, and I were talking about, what the future of streaming video of games is. And, I got to say to the 25 athletic directors, listen, we know that every one of you wants more of your school's games announced and done in full productions. And I am, along with Sam and the rest, it's really Sam, we're working on it. And part of that just comes down to how many people want to sponsor the networks. So if you want to do something, also, we can sell you pretty easily a quick sectional package for $600, and you'll be on a ton of stuff, including on the radio, all the games, and then you'll also be on Purdue and IU as they go through the Big Ten tournament and in the NCAA and all that. So it's a lot of stuff for $600. But you just go to heartlandsportsnet.com and you just buy it right there for $600, and we'll take care of you. Don't worry. I mean, there's some higher level packages, but we're just asking everybody to show their support. But in the end, coming back to KP, I'm like, I watched your games. I haven't been out to Morton. And Kinsey's like, yeah, of course you haven't, Jed. All right, well, thanks a lot. But I watched her on our network a few times. And what you can't teach how somebody knows how to pass. And KP, I mean, everybody's coming after her. She's a 6-foot wunderkind, and if you missed her playing this year, you really missed an unselfish player at the highest level playing for Morton. And at times they only had like 6 people really that could play, or sometimes 5, so they had to go coast to coast, and I think they got worn out a little bit by Crown Point near the end there. But it was actually one of the best sectional games you're going to see, as Crown Point was beating Morton. They really came out, and then Morton came all the way back and then lost it right at the end. And it was, I think, Crown Point basically figured out if you throw 3 people at KP, then maybe you'll win the game. And that's what happened. But, I was trying to bring her along and say, well, you can come in here and, you can work on the for us to go through sectionals, and you want to see how it's done and so forth. But anyways, here's the schedule. Tonight, there is nothing. I think there's one game. Gary Westside's at Lake Station. You can watch that one at 7 o'clock tonight. But on Friday night, Alexis thinks I'm taking her out to dinner, but I'm going to go around to a bunch of different games and, just spend a few minutes. And we have I probably won't get out to like Culver at Tri-Township, Boone Grove at Hebron, Ileana's at Lake Station, Does Lake Station play Thursday and Friday? That seems kind of weird. But anyways, Westville is at Morgan. Hanover's at KV. That's a pretty good game. Highlands at Hobart. That's another one. We are, I think for the first time, we're going we've gone into the Duneland through Chris Enyart and Veraco at Lake Central. And we've done a few games there. But so I think our first time will be at Chesterton. It'll be Valparaiso at Chesterton. Sam Michael will be on the call for that Friday night. Too bad you can't listen to it on the radio, but you can listen to it on the Heartland Sports app. All you got to do is download. On some of the services, it's still Jed TV. It hasn't switched over to Heartland, but you download Jed TV and eventually it'll switch over to Heartland. And you'll be able to watch the game on your phone, or you could watch it on your TV. And you're also got on the announcers for Andrean at Munster, and that's going to be Tim. I don't know what Lupowski's first. Josh Lupowski and Matt Maloney. That one's interesting because it should be a good game. And Munster has won so many conference games in a row. I think that. I don't know what they lost this year. You know what? I'm going to look it up right now. But Munster's at Andrean. And let's see. I want to say for Munster went like decades without losing a conference game. Heck it, I'm guessing that he's lost one this year, but I'm going to look that up. And if not, he's going to have a pretty good chance of, that should be a good game. And one of the main problems is that Matt Maloney's on the call. And, I don't mean to, he's a good friend of mine and he's a leading realtor, but when you put the mic in front of him, he can't help himself that he is such a Munster fan. So you guys listen to that game, watch that game. It'll be Munster at Andrean. All right, so let's look. Has Munster lost a conference game? All right, they beat Highland. They beat Hobart. They beat Lowell. I don't know. They beat Ileana, who's in. I don't know. They're not really in the conference, but they kind of are. Munster lost like 6 in a row to EC Central, Crown Point, Lake Central, Marquette Catholic, Franklin, and Gary Lighthouse. Gary Lighthouse is 12-6. I want to say they beat someone really big this year. Who was it? Was it Laporte? No, that wasn't Laporte. They beat Munster 53-52. Gary Lighthouse did. And then, I don't know, somebody else they beat that was really good. It was 21st Century that beat Crown Point, I think. 21st Century is 12-6 and beat Andrean. They beat Valpo. And they beat Lighthouse. And then they beat Crown. Yeah, they beat Crown Point 74-60 at Crown Point. And that's just there's so much kind of weird where the area, which team is outstanding and which teams are going to come through the sectionals. Honestly, I got no idea, man. These are crazy. But anyways, that's just Friday night. Saturday, we got Viterbro at Cal College in women's, and then College of DuPage at Cal College in men's. Then you got McCutcheon at KV and boys, Maryville at Hobart and boys. You got Washington Township at River Forest and boys. All right. And then, hey, hold on a second, guys. I'll open the door. And then we will be sending people, we'll just be sending one crew out on Saturday. And then one main crew of, 6 people or so. And that is to do the girls basketball semi-state. It's a 10 o'clock out of, I think McCutcheon plays at 10. And then Crown Point, I think, plays Noel, or I can't remember who it is they play. But it'll be at LaPorte at noon Central Time. But you'll be able to watch that on the IHSA TV network. We'll be doing that game. I think Sam Michael will be on the call. Sam will be on it with Tim Fedler. They're an outstanding duo, one of the best in the state of Indiana. And then on the first game, it'll be Sam and Becca. I don't know who Becca is. And then Tim Federal will come in for the Crown Point game. Becca must have some connection to one of the out-of-area teams. So sometimes we will get another announcer to kind of that knows the other team from another area. Ben Cowart will be on it. Brandon Denene, Nick Hedrick, and Josh Beaudry are kind of like the A team. So we're going to have the A team of 7 people out at LaPorte. Go ahead and pay the money. You will not be disappointed. If you buy the package in the morning, it's McCutcheon and somebody else, and then it's Crown Point in the noon game. And whoever wins those, if Crown Point's playing at 7:30, you're going to want to buy that, baby. I think it's Newell or something like that they play, and that'll be a good game. All right, take a short break. I got to open the door, and I'm going to go through some news. There's plenty of it, but first of all, we got to find Nicole. I don't know where she's been. Nicole, are you working out? Are you on the treadmill already? Are you already done taking a shower and sitting there drying your hair, listening to WGGG? I think you are. Be right back on the Voice and Face of the Region.
Life's biggest challenges don't come with a warning. When legal issues arise, whether it's a car accident, personal injury, criminal charge, or representing you before municipal boards, you need a trusted advocate on your side. At Westland & Bennett, we listen first because your story matters. We provide strategic, personalized legal solutions to protect your rights, your freedom, and your future. Peace of mind starts with a conversation. Call 219-440-7550 today for a free consultation.
Do you like to work with your hands, creating something from nothing? Then think about Laborers Local 41. You'll get 432 hours of apprenticeship training, all while earning a wage with benefits and incurring no student debt. You'll travel to different job sites, learn tons of skills, and in a lot of cases, be the first one on and the last one off a job site. It all starts at laborers41.com.
Are you sausage curious?
Who's ready for Polish?
Big Frank Sausage has the very best Polish food in the region.
You had a mouthful of Big Frank sausage?
We have a full bar, dine-in, carry-out, delivery, and catering available.
I've had a mouthful of Big Frank sausage.
I've got a mouthful of Big Frank sausage.
219-378-9556. Smacznego I na zdrowie.
Who's ready for Polish?
AM 1230, WJOB 104.7 FM, the voice and face of the Calumet region. I got a few things to go through, and then I got a couple of guests, and just a few. I will also be live from 9 to about 10:15 as we do the Mastering Local Marketing 122nd, and I think 121st and 122nd episodes of that fine podcast. Let's take a look at traffic 294 around the city. That looks, let's see, where are we at here? I'm looking for anybody who wants to call. I think it's, let's see, 1, 2, 3. That's the wrong one. Here it is. Hupala parara nakashma fabara he ha ha ha. Who ha liki para para jijivu. All right, there you go. 219-845-1100. Let's take a look at traffic. 294 around the city looks okay. Nothing. There's very little there. Bishop Ford into the Dan Ryan, very little. There were some problems earlier, and there still is some residual slowness on the entrance ramp from the Bishop Ford to 111th Street. I believe that's where our good friend, Cousin Phyllis, gets off. That's where Cousin Phyllis gets off the Dan Ryan. Skyway Toll Road, Barman, I-65, they're all moved along pretty well. In terms of the weather, really not, I mean, could be worse. High 54 today, cloudy most of the time. A couple showers and a thunderstorm this afternoon. Thunderstorms can bring hail and damaging winds at times. Right now, it's kind of a weird east wind at about 7 miles an hour. What a beautiful moon it was yesterday, as you just saw this like little bitty sliver crescent moon, and it was beautiful out to the southwest, and had the little grandson in the back seat of the new minivan, and he turns his head and he goes, moon. It's got like 8 words. Moon's one of them. You know what? Please don't, tell, any of the child services or anything. But, I'm playing all these songs that I like, and then I'm thinking, well, eventually he's going to pick a song that he likes. You know what he picked? Squeezebox by The Who. Ooh, what a great song. Mama's got a squeeze box she wears on her chest. But anyways, we're driving around playing the music and so forth and bopping along, and he likes some Rolling Stones. Can't you hear me knocking? That kind of thing. Oh, Paranoid by Black Sabbath. How can you not teach a young kid the finer elements of Paranoid by Black Sabbath? It's kind of tough, actually. But anyways, a high of 54. Tomorrow, high of 40, mostly cloudy, windy, and cooler with a stray shower. And then Saturday, partly sunny and a high of 38 degrees. Heshke fi pala, hupa mamalara moronierish fama. Waylon says the Bishop Ford is worse than normal. Okay, thank you. Let me go back and recalibrate on that. That's standing water at 111th, where Cousin Phyllis gets off, is making things a little bit worse than normal on the Bishop Ford. What did it say? That's a big fatal crash on the Bishop Ford at 111th. Here it says it's just due to flooding. My fault. I read that wrong. It said all I saw was the F. That's a fatal crash. Holy moly. And there's a big announcement. There's a lot of stuff happening this morning, and I want to get to some of it. But at 8 o'clock this morning, all right, I finished with traffic. It's just bad on the Bishop Ford, worse than it normally is. Skyway Toll Road, Borman, I-65. At 8 o'clock today, they're meeting in the Indiana legislature to basically do a couple of different things on the proposal for the Chicago Stadium or the Chicago Arena that McDermott wants to put over here on basically Lake Calumet. And then Melton wants to put it in Gary. And I don't even know who the mayor of Portage is, wants to put it in Portage. And, everybody kind of wants it. And so this opportunity comes along, and then we show our colors and we start squabbling amongst each other, which I told you was going to happen. And then it's not a united front at all. I don't feel that it is. Maybe downstate it is. Braun, for all of his, he's not the most popular governor, but, at least he's been able to kind of bring some of the forces together enough to perhaps get it done at the state level. And at the same time, at 8 o'clock, they're meeting in Illinois to figure out what the hell they're going to do about a stadium. And I don't know where that's going to go. You know what I mean? What if we offer just this, just ridiculous package, and we're, just selling our souls? And the Bears say, okay. Because in Illinois, they got to pay $100,000 pensions, and they can't do that. Does that make any sense? Anyways, let's take a couple phone calls. Hele Morashkifi and Papa Maranarahashka. Fupa Loro Horenmerenye. Hey, how are you?
Morning, Jimmy.
Hey, David, how are you? What's happening?
Oh, doing all right. And admittedly, your guess is as good as mine as to where the new Bear Stadium is going to ultimately end up.
Arlington Heights.
It could end up in Indiana.
No, it's going to be in Arlington Heights. That's where it's going. I mean, it's just
well, that's presuming Illinois gets its crap together. Excuse my language.
We'll find out this morning. I mean, both.
I had to say that to kind of emphasize a point.
Yeah. Where do you want it to go?
Well, I'm kind of, being that I've lived in Indiana for many years before moving out here to Illinois, it's like I'm kind of like on both sides of the fence on it. It's like
What are you, a politician?
there's a
What do you can't take a side? What the heck? David, come up with an opinion.
Hey. Although I do have to admit it, there is that novelty factor of if they do end up moving over to Indiana, though.
There you go. Let's go with the novelty.
Since the practically the beginning of the league.
Yes. All right, man. Thanks a lot, David. We're gonna go. I gotta run through some calls because I got some people waiting. Hey, how are you?
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
Where should the stadium go?
You know what? Save your money. Don't bet on that. Okay?
I know.
Save your money.
It's going to Arlington Heights.
I would think that it's gonna stay in Illinois, and that's the reason I said yes. We all wanted to come to Hammond, we wanted to come to Gary, and we wanted to go to Porter County, but it won't go to either one. So just save your money. Don't take a bet on that, okay? But what I called about this morning, I basically want to give my lady condolences to Reverend Jesse Louis Jackson. And he was a great guy. And whenever Donald Trump come out and say he was a great guy, and I seen some pictures him and Jesse Jackson. Now, but Jesse Jackson never talked bad about Trump, so I guess he said they were friends, you know. And I suspect, I'll tell you, going to be the big surprise. I wouldn't be surprised if he go to the funeral of Jesse Jackson. I wouldn't be surprised, and I don't think you'd be surprised because that's what Donald Trump does. He was a friend of, and he even indicated that because when I said, first thing I said, let me see what Donald Trump gonna say. Is he gonna call or give his condolences? Oh, he did all kinds of little stuff, and that was strange. And I say people don't understand that Donald Trump was friends with most of those. He was a Democrat, and you know that. So,
Donald Trump was a Democrat, and Trump was a Democrat. But did you hear Verley yesterday? She was talking about her brother-in-law, Clint Suggs.
I heard
and that Jesse, they made a movie about him, kind of, and about the stewardess or the flight attendant, and but Suggs was a hostage on the plane, and Jesse Jackson stayed with Michael Suggs all the way through it.
Yes.
I mean, can you imagine?
Absolutely.
And I met the guy a couple times and interviewed him once, and I was impressed. I'll be honest with you. I was just impressed. He seemed like talking to you. I mean, it was just easy to talk to him.
Oh, my God. You want to get your radio off the air talking about not like it. But anyway, let me just say quickly, because I know that there are a lot of people are behind. I had an opportunity to meet both individuals. Donald Trump, I shook hands with Donald Trump, and I'm gonna tell you, you say, why? When he first came, he had that Majestic Casino, and he came, and I shook hands with him and talked with him. I've also been in the inner circle with Jesse Jackson. Matter of fact, I'll probably be going to the funeral, And so, I doubt I probably get the chance to shake down, because if Donald Trump have anything that he doesn't have on his list to do, he will be at that funeral. That's my guess.
All right, let's see. All right, Ron, I gotta move it, buddy. Thank you. I appreciate it today. Okay. I gotta take a couple more, and then I got guests lined up, and I'm not gonna do that anymore. To be honest with you, what I do is pretty much interview people in the afternoon. But I really want to showcase some people that have really helped us out here. But anyways, hey, you're on the air. How are you?
Doing well. I'm not really sure where the Bears are going to end up. I just find it hard to believe that the state of Illinois, the county of Cook, is going to, in any way, shape, or form, come up with the money to do this. Been reading a lot, and there's actually some things online about the finances and throughout the state of Illinois. Chicago is the only big city in the United States to have 4 or more of their pensions funded at 40% or less. I mean, they're insolvent as we sit here today. They are insolvent. The state constitution does not allow them to change anything, really. I mean, they could change this. Excuse me, let me rephrase that. They can change the state constitution. There's nothing they can do short of changing the state constitution. And I'm not sure that any Democrat in the state of Illinois is going to go back and tell the unions, bend over. It ain't going to happen. So I don't know how they're going to come up with the money in the state of Illinois. I don't know how they're even keeping the doors open now. Firefighters' pension, completely underfunded. Cops and fire, teachers. I mean, basically every pension in the state of Illinois is beyond repair. So I don't know how they negotiate or they come up with any kind of a deal for the Bears when they cannot. Short of another bankruptcy, I don't see how they get out of this. They can't raise taxes high enough. I just don't see it happening. And if they keep raising taxes, there'll be nobody left to tax. So I don't know. It would be fun to see them in Gary. It'd be fun to see them in Northwest Indiana, anywhere in Northwest Indiana. But I think it would kind of be. I don't think Pritzker wants to be the governor that lets them get out of town. So I think he will sell his soul to the devil to get some kind of a deal. Whether they can afford it or not is going to be another story, but I don't think Pritzker is going to want to be the governor that watch the Bears leave.
Man, you got so much in there I'd like to unpack, but on the flip side, I agree that Illinois has huge pension liabilities that are just, they're just hard to do anything with the state. And they got to raise taxes and keep raising taxes, and that's why all these people are moving here. And it's hard to buy a starter house here now when you used to be able to get kids that were 25 years old, 28, 30, and they want to buy a house. They can find one here that grew up here, and now it's very difficult. There's a lot of late 20s, early 30s kids living at home in parents' basements just because of the fact that so many Illinois people have come here and driven up the prices. It's nice to own a house. Yeah, we all get that. But that comes at a cost, and I'm with you. Whenever it snows, we always talk, oh, my gosh, the toll road looks great. So does the Bishop Ford and 80 going east and west, and it looks bad here. We don't have as much resources. Well, we just don't because our taxes are lower. That all comes out. I'm pretty sure that Governor Braun wants to sell his soul to bring the Bears here. And he has that option. I know. Pritzker doesn't have that option.
He's got a lot more to lose. You either make a deal with the devil to try to come up with the money somehow and keep kicking. You're not kicking the can down the road anymore. You are just ignoring the can completely in the state of Illinois. So Pritzker's more got his back against the wall. Is he going to make a deal with the devil so he can save face and not be the governor that lost to the Bears? Is Braun, I'm not saying the state of Indiana in any way, shape, or form is at the top of the financial mountain, but we are definitely in a much better position in the state of Indiana, infinitely better in the state of Indiana than the state of Illinois is.
Hey, man.
I don't think the two are comparable.
Hey, excellent comments, and I'm never going to say this again, and nobody's listening, but I miss you, and I thank you very much for calling. All right, man. I know there's a bunch of other people want to talk. I'll get to you eventually, but right now I'm bringing in some guests, and I'll be right back on the Voice and Face of the Region.
IBEW Local 697 electrical contractors bring the highest standard of electrical work to Lake County homes, schools, and businesses. From everyday fixes to once-in-a-lifetime builds, we don't just get the job done, we get it done right and up to the highest safety standards. When you need electrical work, hire the professionals who power Indiana. Powering Indiana, Lake County, bringing excellence to the job, creating a brighter future for our community.
It's the simplest expression. The smallest thing that changes everything. A smile. So easy. A smile lights it up. Apologizes. And welcomes unconditionally. Because the shortest distance between two people is a smile.
Thank you.
Strack and Van Til, where making life easier starts with a smile.
Ogren Insurance, Hammond's oldest family-owned independent insurance agency, now in its third generation providing clients in the Chicago area with products from quality insurance companies to handle your every need. Regardless of driving history, Ogren Insurance can find the right coverage for you at competitive prices. To learn more about the insurance solutions and services we offer throughout Indiana, Illinois, and Michigan, call 219-933-0076 or visit our website, ogreninsurance.com. We're located at 6929 Homan Avenue in Hammond, Indiana. Do business locally with someone you know and trust.
For a fast and friendly car wash, go to Easy Clean Car Wash. Open 7 days a week in 4 convenient locations: Highland, Griffith, Cherville, and Lansing. Free vacuuming, air freshener, and a towel with every wash. It's fast, safe, and gentle. For more information and hours of all our locations, visit myeasyclean.com. Also, see how you can wash your car daily with our $10 Ultimate Wash for only $19.99 per month. Give your car the best clean at Easy Clean Car Wash.
From the gas in your car to the heat in your home and the roads that you drive on, our work powers daily life. We are USW Local 71, the proud men and women of the Whiting Refinery. We're not just refinery workers. We're your friends and neighbors, raising our families here, shopping in the same stores, and cheering in the same stands. USW Local 71, powering the region because we are the region.
AM 1230 WJOB 104.7 FM. Can you hear in your ears? Can you hear me talking in your ears? All right, don't worry, your mics aren't on yet. Hey, guys, let's take a look at what's going on with the traffic. 294 around the city looks pretty good. 80 going east and west. That up the Bishop Ford at 111th Street, it's 2 fatalities, which just reminds you how difficult and how dangerous it is to drive to Chicago. 2 fatalities overnight. It took them a long time to clean the mess up, and now it's clean, and Bishop Ford's moving along, but kind of slowed things down on the, I don't know, I got here at 5:15 today. I don't know why, and started on the air. So I come and I start early sometimes just to make up for the times that I feel like taking a swim at the Y on the way here and come in a little late, and you just got to deal with it. But anyways, it's been a horrific drive to the city. I mean, I would say a good 20 or 30% of those people driving up the Bishop Ford in the morning at that hour are from Indiana, and certainly our condolences go out to whoever that is. And if it's a Hoosier or someone from Illinois, either way. But 2 deaths overnight on the Bishop Ford. Skyway, Toll Road, Borman, I-65 are all moved along pretty well. It's been kind of warm, and what a beautiful evening it was last night. And just went out and hung out with the grandkids, and Alexis had an outing to go to, so I was with the whole family, and it was just nice to drive around, and it was a beautiful moon, that little under crescent moon. I love that baby, and it was clear. That will not be the case today. Cloudy most of the time with a couple of showers and thunderstorms this afternoon. Thunderstorms can bring some hail and damaging winds. Also, many of you who leave your cars out noticed that it was just muddy, and there was this like grime. It was like a mud storm on Tuesday night. And that had to do with the ash from the wildfires out west. They somehow made it this way, and then it started raining. Then they were in a jet stream, then it started raining, so all the ash got pushed down, and it's kind of weird. Mostly the car washes yesterday were unbelievably crowded. Mostly cloudy, windy, and cooler tomorrow, high of 40, and then Saturday, a high of 38. We have high school basketball and college basketball and other sports that I'm not aware of that are going to be on all weekend long. But it all culminates in that we're hired, basically, or are part of the IHSA Champions Network. So we do the semi-states up here. And this one is going to be at LaPorte on Saturday. We have, I don't know, probably 20 games outside of this. But there's a 10 o'clock, a noon, and if the 2 winners will meet at 7:30 in LaPorte. Those are central times. And if you want to watch that games, I know that you're used to just going to Heartland Sports Network and watching for free. You got to pay the IHSAA to watch those games. Your best bet is just to buy the whole packet in the morning, and you'll get all 3 games. But if you just want to buy one, for sure, you can buy the noon game with Crown Point, and Sam Michael and Tim Fedler will be on the call for that one. There's also a 10 o'clock, 2 out-of-town teams that are playing at 10 in Class 4A, and McCutcheon is one of them. That's all I know. And Sam Michael and Becca, and I think Becca's done games for us before, but I don't know her. And she'll be on the call at 10 o'clock. We'll have the A team out there. Ben Coher will be producing, along with Brandon Denene and Nick Hedrick and Josh Beaudry. Those guys have all been with us for many years. So it should be a very high-level broadcast. So go ahead and buy it and show the IHSAA that you care about girls high school basketball. I got a couple of guests with me today. Joel Calderone, how you doing?
How are you today?
I'm doing all right, man. Can you hear me all right?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I do is I'm able to adjust your microphones on the fly. So you're going to come in and go, and there's going to be some other dude who comes in and go. So you got to get good at that. And the reason I say that, because I think you may be sitting here at some point doing a show. So there it is. Brian Cummings, how you doing?
Hello, Jim.
You doing all right, man? Are you good?
Yes, I'm good.
Yeah, and Brian Cummings is of Catalyst DJ, or Catalyst Productions. And how long you been a DJ?
About 40 years.
40 years. He may have done your wedding. Calderone, Joel Calderone, and Brian Cummings have really helped us out here in that we moved from Purdue and we wanted to build a new studio and we wanted to remake WJOB, and I wanted to start with Christmas music for a few weeks, and all of a sudden Cummings calls me up and says, "Hey, Jed, I got a bunch of Christmas 20-minute segments of Christmas music. Do you want them?" I'm like, oh, my God. So all that Christmas music, and then a lot of the music you've been hearing in this transition has been a result of their efforts. Joel, you have something called Moog Radio. What is that?
It's an internet radio station where we play the same show that you're getting, and people tune in every Friday and every Tuesday and Wednesday night.
And what time is that at, that you go live?
On Tuesday and Wednesday night, we go live at 6, and on Friday we go live at 3.
And now we're going to try to figure out a way. You can't go Friday at 3 because that's Kubik. And you can't get in the way of Kubik. Just I know Rick is probably listening, and Kat, they're like, what? No, don't worry about that. But I'm going to bring you and Kubik and Gino together, and we're going to try to bring music to be a good part of what we do. We already have in the last couple of months, and people really like what you guys have put together. Now, how do people find Moog Radio? Anytime, it's always on. But also, you do these live shows on Friday and Tuesday. How can they get there?
They can get there at m1r.mixlr.com.
All right, let me write that down. I might put that on. I'll put that on my
m1r.mixlr.com.
All right.
And my cousin is actually the curator of the station.
And where does he live?
He lives in Carroll Beach, Wisconsin.
So there's other stations there. It's not just your station. There's other streams.
Right, there's other streams.
And is he from here?
He's from Downers Grove,
from
Illinois.
And that's where you're from?
No, I'm from South Holland and Thornton.
And then at one point you decided to come over to the good side?
In Cal, I went to Purdue. So
Purdue Northwest?
Purdue right here, Purdue Cal at the time.
Yeah, so you moved then here and never left?
Well, I moved on paper. I shouldn't admit that on the air, but it's been so long ago.
Oh wait, so you got in-state tuition somehow?
Yeah,
and you just kept the license.
I would live with everybody. You know, I was like a vagabond. I'm like, can I live with you? I'm like, not really.
But it probably saved you a good deal. You know, I went to the University of California as a resident, and from out of state, it was an astronomical amount of money, but in-state tuition is zero, or was then. It was free. Everything was free. And I worked there for a summer. I got a license on accident. And some dude says, hey, man, you've been here a year now. All you got to do is be here 1 year, and you can go to college here. I transferred. I went to University of California for nothing, and that was the only way I would have ever been able to pay for it. So I'm with you, man. You just gotta see how the rules are and work within the system and not do it too far outside of the system, right?
Yeah.
So your love of music comes from where?
My grandfather.
All right, tell us about him.
My grandfather would go into recording booths in the 1950s and start singing. And everybody would look at him like he's crazy. But he would sing songs like Cheap Bananas by the Park Avenue Jesters.
That's not yet. How does Cheap Bananas go?
Come on. You're getting me this thing. It's part talking and part singing, and it's got a lot of Italian colloquialisms in there. And it's like, hey, Gumba, you selling your bananas against the law? No, I'm selling them against the fence.
There you go. I knew you had it in you.
But he would go into the recording booths and record them. So they were preserved very well. And my cousin Kurt is a wizard in the studio, and he's getting very good at AI. He can imitate voices through AI to a T. So he took all the recordings, sampled them, and he makes a show on Mogul One Radio called The Suave and Sophisticated Beat with Nuge Rovit. His last name was Rovito. And he plays it. And the first time it happened, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm hearing my grandfather's voice in over 50 years. He's got it down that good. My mother heard it and she said, your grandfather wasn't that smart. I'm like, it's still his voice. But he wasn't that smart.
So you had tape of your grandfather?
He had records, 78 records.
And you were able to recreate his voice again.
Yes, and it is to a T. And Kurt has been able to imitate or use AI to get other voices down perfectly. And I'm sure he doesn't want me saying who, but he's got a couple radio personalities, and you cannot tell. You cannot tell. They are wonderful. My son is like, Dad, that's the best stuff that you guys have going on there. Every time it's on, my son's got it on, other people have it on. It fooled my son-in-law. He was listening, and he goes, well, I didn't know that this guy made the bottom 40. I thought he only did the top 40.
It's odd that you mentioned that because I am going today to have a meeting with everybody here that, just on the radio side, and it's all about, what are the processes that are available with AI that can help us do more local programming.
Yeah.
And one of them is that my son-in-law said, hey, if you give me an hour or two of you talking on the radio and you give me, I think it's $100, they will make exactly your voice. So, it'll be my voice reading the sports, my voice reading the weather, my voice introducing things. And I'm a little afraid about that because now they're going to have my voice. They could do whatever they want. They could say, they could do anything.
Exactly.
It could be, it could be used for illicit purposes. But
and Brian's already been AI'd. Brian will get very busy, and my cousin Kurt will be like, okay, is Brian turning over a show this week? I'm like, I don't know. He goes, it's 4 o'clock, too late. And he takes Brian's voice and he uses the AI process. And there's Brian. And he comes on and you hear, hello, everybody. This is Captain Flashback.
and it's not you.
It's kind of freaky, I must say. It's kind of freaky in a good way. But, yeah, I was I can't believe how good he did it. So
yeah, and we're getting pretty good at it too. We're getting a new system on some of the broadcasting on which they'll just do the weather and they'll just do the traffic and then they'll take my voice and then they'll do the sports. It's pretty freaky how efficient it can be. I mean, there's not a lot of cost in it. It freaks me out a little bit. You went to Purdue Cal, what, for communications?
Actually, no, computer programming.
Okay, well then, you came out and there was a demand for computer programmers, and there's demand in communications. I don't know, 20 years ago, and but there isn't right now. It's crazy. Typically, I take 2 or 3 interns over the summer. I'm like, no, we're not doing that. There's too big of a gap between where they come out with a communications degree and where you need, AI and, high-tech experience. And then I talked to some of the people in Chicago. There's not one place taking any interns this summer. And I'm like, well, what do communications and broadcasting people? They come out and they work for free and then they get a good job. And I don't know what is going to happen in the future. I mean, you're seeing the same thing, I'm sure.
Same thing.
Computer science, same thing, man. You can go on Claude right now, and you know this. You can go on Claude right now. I spent tens of thousands of dollars to build an app called, Hey Jed app. I redid it on Claude in about an hour the other day. The whole thing. So that guy's job, I would never hire now. We're creating an e-commerce site. Unbelievable. We'll be rolling it out. I just don't know where these young kids are going to get the jobs in computer science.
I don't know either. I'm glad I'm where I'm at in the process. I'm 65 and a half years old, so I've got 2-3 more years, and I'll finish it out. But if I was 20, I would never go into it.
I don't even know what I'd go into. Nick, Purdue's got the new building over there. It used to be entrepreneurship. They changed it into cybersecurity. That's the number one thing in America to get a job right now. If you come out and you know how to protect people's data, you can find a job anywhere right now. But if you come out knowing how to code, who needs that anymore? I don't. Yep. You come out, you know how to edit a video, throw it in Riverside. It'll be done by the time you go to the bathroom, right?
Right.
And they'll even take out all the oohs and the ahs, and the downtime and you repeating yourself. It's all gone. You'll sound eloquent. Even you, Brian Cummings, sound eloquent.
Well, he sounds eloquent anyhow. I'm still doing it by hand, but.
Hey, Brian Cummings. You've been a part of the region and doing how many weddings you think you've done? DJ'd?
Probably 1,000. I would say minimum. I can't. I've been doing it so long. It's quite a few.
Quinceañeras are big, huh?
Yeah, I've done those. I did a lot of Latin music. Joel and I met on the boats in Chicago. We worked as DJs on the Odyssey and the river boats. That's how we met each other. And after all these years, we're still together. The thing we have in common, Joel and I, is we both always were geeks about music, even when we were young. So being a DJ just kind of fell into our lap, even though we had different careers, not DJing. And so when we got together and started doing this, we decided, hey, there's a lot of music out there that's swept under the rug, and we want to get it back to people, let people hear stuff they really want to hear instead of the same old songs that you hear on, like, The Drive or stations like that.
You have a lot of people have been listening to your selections for the last 2 months, and we're going in that direction mostly for some music in the evenings and on the weekends, but also some during the day, especially around holidays. You have a very eclectic sense of taste when it comes to music. I'm sitting there listening to you just slobber all over Neil Diamond music, and then you send me a bunch of Grateful Dead tapes, and I'm like, nobody drives around with a Neil Diamond channel and the Grateful Dead channel right next to each other. Now, there might be 2 or 3 people like, oh, I got that on my Sirius or whatever. But what would you describe your musical taste as?
It evolved a lot. When I was a caveman, a young man playing football and wrestling, I listened to Zeppelin, Sabbath, stuff like that. And when it went to college, I got turned on to different music, The Doors, 60s stuff, Grateful Dead. And then as I got going, all of a sudden I heard progressive rock like old Genesis, and I'm like, this is like ear candy. So my ears, and I always liked pop music too, But the thing is, I mean, if you watch a Neil Diamond movie, Eddie Vedder is a cool guy because he said in the movie, who doesn't like Neil Diamond? So I think even like heavy metal guys or people like that, they like that kind of music, but they won't own up to it. And, I think there's a time and a place. When Joel and I do music, every part of the job is a different style of music. We don't just play one kind. We do a wedding. We're playing cocktail dinner music. Then we play, after dinner music. Then we hit them with the dance music. And I think some DJs out there put a square peg in a round hole. They don't know how to program the music. I think that's one of our biggest strengths. But
we're certainly hearing it here on the air, and you're introducing every song, kind of gives it a little personal taste. I was a little surprised at your affinity for kind of the progressive rock, and really your deep knowledge of like 90s rock, and honestly, I kind of put that off of my playlist, and I think I've brought some of that back. I've added maybe 5 or 6 REM songs, and that's all they ever did that were any good, into my rotation because you keep playing REM, and I'm like, man, I've always loved REM. But you even stretch into the crooners. You do some good Sinatra, and you'll put down Bob Dylan, who isn't a crooner really. I mean, I'm pretty sure that there's, outside of big band music, I'll bet there's no real genre that you don't know a little bit about.
Well, I mean, Joel would, say the same thing. You learn DJing by doing it, and all the new songs come out. You hear them, you play them. People request stuff. That's, people, how do you know all this? Well, just from doing it a long time. And, I think he's like me. He went to the record bins as a young guy, go to Hegwish Records and buy records, and it was a magical time in music. I think one of my all-time favorite movies is Almost Famous, really about a kid that really got into music and his mom didn't want him to, and the rest is history. I think it's a great movie. So, there's a certain love for music, that people have. And so if they're listening to us, we're on here today like, hey, maybe there's stuff people want to hear or bring back. We do it. I think the problem with music is they just play the same stuff over and over, and people want something different.
You mentioned Hegwish Records. Do you remember your first visit to Hegwish Records and what record you bought? What about you, Joel?
I bought 745s there the first time, and it was when they were still in Hegwish. And my dad took me. It was the one and only time my father ever took me to a record store. He was looking for Biff the Friendly Purple Bear by Dick Feller, and he was looking everywhere for it, and they were playing it on WJJD, and no one had it. Finally, he found it, but everybody told him, go to Hegwish, and he goes, hey, get in the car, I'm taking you somewhere. I'm like, where are you taking me? And we get out at Hegwish Records, I'm like, what?
Yeah, when it was remember the XRT started out of the back there in the back room? And remember Don Nelson? Do you remember him?
He's worked with Joel and I, or he's probably going to come back and work with us.
Don Nelson grew up over there by Munster Lumber, and he was an older guy in the neighborhood. And so I would go home, and I don't know, it might have been 73-ish, something like that, when XRT started out of the back of Hegwish Records. And I didn't really know Don Nelson, but he was a really young DJ on XRT, and he was good, man. I never really followed his career, but I know he went on in that business. And so you got Nelson too?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Him and I went to school together.
I know. He's your age at Munster. So,
Yes.
That's crazy. So your dad was looking for what?
He was looking for Biff the Friendly Purple Bear by Dick Feller.
And what you said you bought 745s. Can you remember a couple of them?
Oh, yeah. Show and Tell by Al Wilson. 2 Jim Croce songs. Elton John, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. It was in December of 73. So when you look at that chart, that's where they came from.
What about you? First time at Hegwish Records?
I think I bought Up Around the Bend by Creedence Clearwater on 45.
Who'd you go with?
I think just myself. I just want to let you know, I used to go to Comaze every week to get the WLS and WCFL record, top 40 stuff, and I collected all that stuff. And I go up there and buy records right here. Well, it's gone now, but yeah, I was really into the charts and I knew what everything was doing. Kind of a weird thing.
I went with Mark DeRolf and Tony Nelson to Hegwish Records, and I felt like I found this like secret. I think I was a sophomore in high school, and it was like, where has this place been? And they had we spent a couple of hours in there, and I only had money for one album, so I bought the Who Are You album. And God, would I love to have that right now, man. That was a beautiful album, and I must have played that 5,000 times. You know how, and then there's some records here where that they play one good song off the album, and then you pull it out, and you see that it's all different colors. It's a lighter color than the rest of the vinyl all the way around it.
Yeah. I have records from here, actually. When I was in high school, I took radio TV because that's what I wanted to do. And Mrs. Wacky arranged for a field trip. So she took us here to WJOB. And when the tour was over, each one of us got 245s. And, it was hit and miss what you got. And then when the kids got off the bus, they're all like, who wants this? So they tossed them around the bus. And I went around and picked up all the 45s. And I'm like, I want it. So I ended up with a little stack of 45s, and I think I have every one of them on CD now. And some of them were kind of obscure, but
I have played a lot of our vinyl into CD and years ago, and it wasn't recorded all that in high fidelity. I mean, I recorded it live on the air, so I'm recording it in mono, so it didn't come out. The recordings aren't that great, but if you do it in a high level of audio into, say, Adobe Audition, and you do it on a WAV file and not an MP3, you can really get that warmth of the vinyl that comes through it. I got so many things to get to and so many John Doherty, I'll get to you in a second. But one time I had a guy come in here he was from North Carolina, and we wanted to fix a specific part, and I needed to get an engineer. So he brings his little a little kid, I don't know, maybe he's like a senior in high school or whatever. It was in the summer. And he comes here and he fixes it, and they're here like 3-4 hours. And I'm like, thank you. There's only like a dozen guys in America that really know this to get that AM sound. And so the kid's sitting here, and I go, I'll tell you what. And he's like all into the albums and stuff. I go, all right, well, I got a little area here. I got some decent little albums. Go ahead in there. You can just pick one out just for waiting. And he goes in there, and he knows his stuff. Either that or he's got it on it. Because I have I think one of the original Jean-Luc Ponty, like his first pressing of his album when they sent him to radio stations. And it's, it's worth about $1,000. And the kid goes, well, what about this one? And I'm like, oh, no, not that Jean-Luc Ponty. And I'm like, all right. And the guy fixing it, he goes, I told you he knows his vinyl, man. You should not have done that. I go, man, I said what I was going to do. So I lost an original Jean-Luc Ponty. And you have never played that on any of your shows.
Well, I was just going to say, I'm actually an aficionado of fusion and new age. And I've seen Jean-Luc Ponty. It's fabulous. He's one of the best artists, and I love fusion jazz, but Joel and I haven't gotten to it yet. Chick Corea, Al Di Meola, all that, Weather Report. I love all that stuff, so I want to do a podcast of that.
All right. Hey, guys, you'll hear these guys, Joel Calderon and Brian Cummings. They have a station, and they're going to integrate it here with Adriana, who is kind of running this with Lynette, and hopefully get their show on here on WJOB. But you can listen to their station anytime at M1R. M1R. All right, M1R dot Mixler, which is Mixlr. That's kind of a big thing, in .com. M1R.mixler.com, and you can find their show. One other comment. Brian Cummings, if there is anybody who brought disc golf to the Calumet region, it was the original Frontier. I remember in high school him throwing his Frisbee around. I remember playing in competitive Ultimate Frisbee games I remember we had one over here at Eggers, and some guy tackled me, and I got in a fight with him, and it was one of the most competitive things. I couldn't throw it very well, but I was pretty fast, so I would go around, and we would play some ultimate frisbee. But you put together these disc golf courses all over the Calumet region. Where's your newest ones?
I just put one in Dyer last year on the sledding hill. It's really nice. South Holland has a real good one right on the river. Those are the two newest ones. We've been making improvements to the edge. We constantly add new holes out there. That's a very popular course.
The edge is where?
Right in Munster, right by the river.
Right by the river.
It goes back into the woods. It's really nice.
And that one is on the Hammond side?
It's actually on the Munster side.
The edge.
Yeah.
I know where the Hammond one is.
Well, Riverside's the original. It's turning 40 this year.
Riverside Park. Did you have any involvement in that one?
Yeah, I redesigned it like 4 times.
It's really a kind of a cool thing in that, I'll be running or riding my bike there. There's all sorts of people with like the packs with the several discs in their packs, and they have basically golfing, like dudes going out in threesomes and that kind of thing. But I cursed you one time. We had our family reunion at Lemon Lake Park, which is one of the top disc golf courses in America, really, which you had a big hand in. And we get out there, and we're right there at the pavilion, and there must be 300 cars at the disc golf tournament. And I'm like, where the heck is Brian Cummings? None of our relatives could park. And so we make sure we get our pavilion way in the back just in case we run into all of it. And not only that, we're at the pavilion in the back, and we're doing, our family reunion, and the hole goes right next to it. So these guys will come around. I mean, there's groups after groups, and they'll go, hey, man, can we get a beer, this and that? And it's the nicest guys, but it's still a little bit obnoxious at times.
Well, can I just say one thing? I think Northwest Indiana should be proud of the fact that the first 18-hole course went in Riverside Park. The first 9-hole went in Munster. Mayor McDermott helped me get the course in. He was being progressive. We ran almost 30 years of Indiana state championships out of this area. We also ran 2 world championships at Lemon Lake.
That was one of them.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is it's a good thing. I was just a wrestler and a football player getting out of high school, and now what am I going to do? I'm not going to play wrestling or football anymore. I got into disc golf because I always played Frisbee at the beach. And when I found out about it, I thought it was great.
A sport generated from Wells Street Beach in Gary, Indiana. Hey, he's Joel Calderon, and he is Brian Cummings, and you will hear them in a growing force here on WJOB. Thanks, guys. One more thing. Go ahead.
Yeah. Revolution Dave says hi to you. and also, Joel and I still do mobile work. If you want a quality DJ that knows what they're doing and plays what you want, this is what we do.
Catalyst DJ.
Catalyst Productions, yeah.
Go to Catalyst Productions, and you get to both those guys. Thanks a lot, guys. Be right back on the Voice and Face of the Region.
For over 140 years, the Central Midwest Carpenters have built our communities in Northwest Indiana. Are you ready to join the effort? We have long-term work, competitive pay, and the best benefits in the industry. We pride ourselves on innovative training and commitment to worksite safety. Earn as you learn as an apprentice. A solid career built on a solid legacy. For more info, go to carpenters.com.
Are you searching for a college where you belong? Calumet College of St. Joseph wants to know you and give you the support you need to succeed. Are you worried about how you'll pay for your degree? 95% of our students receive financial aid, including scholarships and grants. Need some extra help with your classes? You'll benefit from our small class sizes, free tutoring, internship planning, faculty mentors, and so much more. Come experience our accepting, supportive college family for yourself. Schedule your campus visit and apply at ccsj.edu.
If you're thinking of finishing your basement, installing outdoor security cameras, or your business has plans to break ground on a new project in 2024, Powering Indiana, Lake County is your source for the region's best electricians. With IBEW, Local 697 electricians, you're choosing the highest level of safety and reliability. Visit poweringindiana.org today and ensure your project is in the hands of skilled professionals.
AM 1230 WJOB 104.7 FM, the voice and face of the Calumet region. Taking a look at traffic, 294 around the city. Looks pretty good, 80 going east and west. You know what? Do you want mine or no?
Because it is easier to use the one that is for the producer than the other one there. Why is this so low? Oh, my goodness.
Sorry about that.
All right.
Everybody, sorry about the kind of quick end of it's meatball surgery, but I went a little long with those guys just because I love talking about music.
You two people, you're going to go down for a second because we're going to fix the live real quick.
Why? What was wrong with it?
You guys, it's off sync.
What's that mean?
The audio and video are off sync, but when we export it and post this interview later on today, it'll be perfectly fine. It's just a server issue with production truck and YouTube. That's what's going to be fixed later on.
Can I bring something up to you technologically?
Mm-hmm.
Riverside is kind of the place where a lot of people are going to straight to YouTube.
Yes.
And that might be a better RTM. We don't even have to RTMP. It'll just automatically port. But what's the problem with that?
The only thing with that, I don't know if you ever watch, if there is not good, here, I'm going to do this while they're doing that. If there is not good Wi-Fi, it is very laggy, and the video and audio will be off. That's the only thing. If you ever watch, because if you guys are listening right now, there is a new episode of What Makes the Cow Guy Cry that has been uploaded, and you guys will get a few more of those, actually. You will get one today, one on Monday, and one on Thursday. That means you guys are fully caught up, so there's no... I don't know what we call it, but basically if they are unable to record, they have like a little a cushion, so that way they're like, okay, yeah, we have one extra. But you posted the one you did yesterday, and I was like, that's not the next one. I had them all scheduled.
So we have so many podcasts now, and I edited it, and I wanted to see how it went straight to YouTube, so I just posted it. And what that does is that messes up the algorithm. What I'll do is in the podcast at 9:05 and 9:35 that I'm doing today with Adriana and Matt Hansen, we'll talk a little bit about that. But if you are doing a podcast here or anywhere, you need to stick to a schedule. I did not realize that. I screwed that up, and Adriana was pissed.
I was like, what are you doing?
All right, hey, guys, listen, 294 around the city actually been pretty good today. Bishop Ford into Dan Ryan was bad earlier with a double fatality at 111th Street. That just highlights exactly how dangerous it is to drive to the city every day and why more and more people are trying to work from home and move to Indiana and do their work here. And it's just one of the many reasons. But condolences. They are been able to clean that up and move forward. But kind of a sad morning early, and a lot of people were caught in that traffic. But Bishop Ford moving lighter than normal now. And Skyway Toll Road, Barman, I-65, they're all moved along pretty well. In terms of the weather, Adriana Alvarez.
Yep, so currently right now at the Shack and Van Til Studios, it is 40 degrees. Today we're seeing highs of 54 degrees, lows of 34. Cloudy most of the time with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm this afternoon. Thunderstorms can bring hail and damaging winds, so maybe those thunderstorms will get all the mud off of our cars if we haven't gone to the car washes yet. And then tonight, mostly cloudy periods of rain with a thunderstorm this evening becoming breezy in the late. Thunderstorms can bring hail and damaging winds. Friday, highs of 40 degrees, lows of 26. A shower with windy and cooler temperatures, partly cloudy in the nighttime. Saturday, we cool down to 38 with highs of 26, partly sunny and cloudy. So I don't know where he went, but you two people, you're about to go off for just a second because we're going to see if this will fix for that. But we are still live here on...
you can just go to heartlandsportsnet.com and just do $600, and we will put you everywhere. We got a whole bunch of stuff on TV and radio, and show your support if you will, and highlight whatever your business is, and we'll make you a TV spot. We'll make you a radio spot for all the Purdue and IU stuff. I don't really have any time to get out and sell that thing, so I kind of rely on some of my buddies and some of the other people to just go on there and buy the thing and kind of support the whole thing. We also are doing the girls semi-state on Saturday. We'll be out there in partnership with the IHSA TV, and that one you got to pay for. And I just say that ahead of time because everybody's calling me, hey, dude, why do I got to pay the IHSA? I thought you were for free. And I'm like, all of it, I've been able to get it with the IHSA where we can do all the regular season games and all the sports, and we can do even the sectionals and regionals, and but the state buys the semi-states and states. So we broadcast it for them, but you got to